All right, everyone. Welcome to the MVP Power Hour. I'm your host, MVP Jamie Ann. And we also have MVP Barack on here as well. Make sure you say hello so they can hear you.
How are you doing, everybody? How are you doing, Jamie Ann?
I am doing great. How are you doing, Barack?
I'm fantastic.
Awesome. So we have a really cool show planned out for you all today. We're going to talk about navigating the global AI arms race and the industry shakeups that are currently happening. So I'm going to just read some stuff off, and Barack, feel free to jump in and share your wisdom as we go through this. So we're going to cover some latest news with you guys and gals. And then in the last half, we're going to talk about what's going on, who's on top of the arms race right now, and what countries, like for instance, the USA, can do to try to keep up, right? How can they pivot? How can they change? I believe that competition is a good thing personally. Some people frown upon it, but I think that's how we get really innovative and it helps us to think outside our box. So I think competition is a great thing, and we'll talk more about that at the end. All right. As always,
Jamie,
if you, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you, but
Yeah,
will
no
we
problem.
declare the winner for the first half quarter of 2025, the arms race winner for
You
2020, for
know,
the first half quarter of
why not?
2025?
Why not?
Why
Let's
not?
go ahead and do that.
All
Let's do
right,
that. We'll we'll
that's gonna
we'll
be fun.
we'll post that down, and then we can revisit each quarter, right? Has it pivoted? Has it changed? I think that will be great.
I like that.
Absolutely. Let's
All
do
right,
that. All
all
right.
right.
So for this first part, let's talk about OpenAI, right? So apparently, and Barack shared this with me, they had a 14 million Super Bowl ad. Why the big spend? Well, Super Bowl ads are really expensive, in case you guys and gals didn't know. So that's part of it. But let's talk a little bit about it. Was it worth it? Did it make sense for them? What does the signal? Like AI is now mainstream, obviously. Did they really need to do that? Do you think that was a waste of money? I'm not so sure. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to see the ad. Did you get to see the ad by any chance, Barack?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I,
So
I,
share
I
with me.
can
Do you think it was worth it?
I can tell you it's not that the ad itself is $14 million. It's just the ad spot is very expensive. The
Yes,
ad
exactly.
itself it was a video. By the way, they conceptualized it using AI tools, but the video itself was not AI made. So it wasn't like OpenAI a video making it happen. Any of the AI tools, they actually use an animator, but it's really cool. It's like depict some kind of the evolution of human mankind, like from the wheel, invention of the wheel and fire. It's all like dots and really cool design. And then to the future where AI, where we're at right now, AI is part of our life and it's here to stay. And I think it's like they're they're not like obviously selling anything. It feels like they're trying just to say AI is happening. We are huge. This is mainstream now. We don't care you're watching football. You should be aware of it. Even while watching football, aware AI is there, right? So it's like the omnipresent,
Right.
powerful, amazing AI happening. 14 million, that's 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 peanuts AI, That's peanuts for
Yeah,
the AI industry.
that's true.
So
Right. So yeah, it
that,
sounds a
that's what
lot bigger
that's
than
what it
it is.
felt to me. I don't know. That's like personal interpretation.
So basically, OpenAI, obviously, they're trying to target, consumer adoption. When do, out of all the time throughout the year, what is one of the biggest events that has a lot of consumers watching? Obviously, the Super Bowl. Hence why it's so expensive to get an ad, right? So, do you think it was worth it? You saw the ad. Do you think it was worth them spending the 14 million, or did it really not make a dent?
Can I go in a nerdy way into numbers?
Absolutely, go for it.
All right. So the number is 14 million, right?
Yes.
And we know just earlier this year, and we'll talk about that later, that DeepSeek launched their model, right? And
Right.
the training cost was 5 million. Do you see where I'm getting here?
Yes.
This is
Yes.
a
Mhm.
$14 million ad, and an entire competitor model training was only $5 million. That's like two competitors' budget
Right.
plus
Right.
4 million change.
Yeah, pretty much. Almost three times that amount for sure.
So was it worth it? I'm sure I, they I we rarely see them make obviously bad mistake. They're doing well.
Right.
They're growing like crazy, right? And I don't know in direct numbers, but I think it was a very blunt way to say it's the power is here and it's big and it's omnipresent. And it's a statement. I think it's more than just to get the adoption rate. You just make sure
Mhm.
to everybody notice you need AI. Don't it's happening, you know.
Right, right.
And they want to be that like when they launched GPT-3, they changed the entire industry for everybody, probably
Right.
so many people's lives for everybody. So I think and because they were the first to do that, the everybody got on ChatGPT. It was there. It helped to train their models better. It helped to put them at the top for a very long time, if not still, right? Until now. And I think that's the same for them. They want to see, okay, we're gonna open it to consumers worldwide. We want to make sure everybody knows about it, and we're gonna be the first to do something in that scale, and that's huge. And I think
Yeah.
that's what they did, and that's smart.
So, do you think that this is going to impact the AI industry in regards to like people are going to have to start coming up, these companies are going to need to start coming up with ad spend money to compete against each other? Do you think that's necessary?
I I think AI power, its usability speaks for itself. I don't think that's going to be necessary. I think the big ones will probably do that because they
Right.
just want to be the top dogs, and the top dogs will do that.
We call
But
that in America a pissing match.
a pissing match, right?
If that's
So
okay for me to say, I hope so. But
pissing match. Okay, so, so I think we might see that happening because they started something for sure. They started
Mhm.
something here,
Right.
but I'm not sure. I'm not sure is that necessary.
I don't think it's
Um,
necessary too. I agree with you. I think that the most people that are utilizing these tools, they're online. So if anything, being having more of an online presence, being on YouTube, uh, you know, TikTok, different things like that, and then using those type of avenues to create content and get people looking at the possibilities, what their stuff can do. I think that's going to go way further than this ad spend part is. So
right.
I'm with you, totally with you on that.
So
Okay.
the people are aware. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. People are aware. I think everyone is looking into this type of stuff now. And I think that if they really want to, like, I was surprised. I'll kind of jump ahead a little bit on what we're going to talk about in a little bit here. I was actually surprised to find that some of the tools that we're looking for don't even have a YouTube channel yet. So I think if they really want to win, have a YouTube channel, have a, different platforms that they're on where they're showing dependent, long form and short form content, depending on what platform we're talking about, but having them
Yeah.
show the potential use cases for their stuff. That's going to tell me a lot more than just like a quick flashy ad will. Like I want to see
Right.
what are the use cases and not just from people on the ground like us who are using these tools. That I love too, but you also want to hear from the company. Like what are your guys' plans? What are your goals? And what do you guys think your use cases are? Let me see what your tools can actually do before I decide to invest my money into you, right? So
Right.
I think that's really the best place that they could spend their money. I don't think they need to spend it in doing big ad spend or, a Super Bowl ad.
I'll tell you something that surprised
That could
me, and
change.
then I'll try to wrap this
Yep.
because okay. So first, I agree with you, right? But something that happened to me a couple of days ago,
Mhm.
I was trying to reach somebody, very high ranked professional, and
Mhm.
about they were discussing and playing around with getting AI training for their staff, and
Got it.
I was trying to reach them, and I'm from Israel, and
Mhm.
Super Bowl is not as big here, and so I tried
You're
to
not missing
call on
anything.
the time of Super Bowl, and phone was just disconnected every time I called. And
Oh,
then later they told me they closed it for the Super Bowl. But what's cool is that
yeah.
so
A
this
lot
guy
of
is
people
not
close
is
their businesses in our area because we're right by Philadelphia. I'm in South Jersey. And
Right.
so,
I
South
should have
Jersey
known.
doesn't really have a team. If you're South Jersey, people that are into football here, they're rooting for Philly. If you're North Jersey, you're probably rooting for the Giants. But yeah, I was surprised that day because I was out driving and stuff. I was surprised how many businesses were closed that normally are open.
Close.
Yeah.
Right. So those guys, right? Those businesses, most of them, if they're not have a technological side or like their MVP marketer that doing that for them, they're
Mhm.
probably not playing with AI or just
Right.
they're not surely not fluent. So when I know for a fact because he saw that ad that day,
Ah.
and when I talked to him, right, he was so open. He had already an AI vision for now. So
Okay.
it's
So
actually got to him, right? This
so
14
so
million
okay.
dollars.
That's a use case then, right?
That's
People that are not necessarily online, not necessarily entrepreneurs that are online, right? Might not be fully exposed to what's going on in AI.
right.
So
So
okay,
they reach
I
other people. They reach new people with this.
I will
And actually,
say
this specific guy
maybe it's worth it
now
then.
wants to adopt that in a very big scale because this made clear to him AI is everywhere, even when I'm watching football. Right?
Right, even
So,
when I'm watching football.
so
All
it's not,
right.
it's not just the calls from Barack. It's even when I'm watching football.
Right. Yeah, that's what sold it. Well, that's kind of awesome. So
All right.
them doing that might help your bottom line. So thank you, OpenAI, for spending $14
Sure.
million dollars from the MVP Alliance team. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Another part of the news is OpenAI cancels their O3 AI model. What's next? Okay. So OpenAI decided to scrap its O3 model to focus on a single unified next gen release instead. Why did they pivot? Possibly consolidating resources for a stronger product launch. I think that would be wise if that's what they're doing. I think that would be a beautiful thing. Do you think it's a risky move for them to do that?
I think it's actually a bit blessed because I think the O3 was he had some I don't know, some backlashes because it was
Yes.
like
Mhm.
limited to the pro version, which costs $200 a month. And so maybe they wanna make it more sense to on their side and the client side to do something more with more oomph
Robust,
behind
right?
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Which we're going to talk about why they need to get a little more oomph later on here in the segment for sure. So I think it's a good idea. If something's not working, you need to pivot. I do martial arts, and we tell people all the time, like if this isn't working, you need to pivot, right? If something you're doing in a business is not working, you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to pivot, right? I don't care if you're doing sports like football, different things like that, whatever is going on in your life. If there's a wall and it's not working, instead of banging your head against the wall, you need to move around the wall, right? You just need to do that. So I think it's a good idea. And I'm looking forward to seeing them create a stronger product because I do think that they were kind of throwing stuff out maybe a little too fast without really refining what they're working on beforehand. So I'm hoping they're going to slow down a little bit to create a better product in the end. So that's what I'm hoping for.
I'll
Um,
add something. I'll add something little to it. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if this new product would be even more efficient because right now they
right,
needed a
right,
different price tier because what the O3 did, it was just thinking longer, right?
right,
It
right,
was it had other features, but basically it put more computing power behind these answers, right? And
right.
so you get better answers. This computer time costs money. So if you pay more, you get more computing time. That's basically what it means.
Right.
But with the DeepSeek announcement that we discussed back then, they making computing more efficient. So you can get
Correct.
better results and better training, better results for way more efficient computing power. So we might see that the next model will have about the same functionality or like O3 or maybe just a small upgrade, something like that, but will be way more efficient. So for
Right,
them, it will
right.
be a much wiser business decision.
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm hoping so. We'll
That's
definitely,
early to see, to say.
well, yeah, we'll wait and see on that for sure. So I think it's good that they're doing that. I really I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. And we'll talk a little bit more about competition again here in a little bit here. So let's go on to the next thing. We have Elon Musk bid for OpenAI. What's the play here? Did you hear about that?
Yes, of course. Uh,
I thought that
I,
was awesome to hear, but they totally like were like, no, I don't think so. So basically,
they
yeah, go
actually
ahead.
made the counter offer. Have you seen the counter offer?
Oh yeah, that they were willing to buy X
Yeah.
instead.
So he offered like 97 billion, which they thought, of course, it's like undervaluation. And basically, I don't know if you know, but it's a huge history between them right now. Like Elon Musk they already put few lawsuits against them, and
Mm.
just at the beginning he sent like a personal letter to Sam Altman, if I recall right, asking them, can you pause for 6 months so we have time to catch up. He just tried to slow them down while also working on his own XAI,
Right,
right?
right.
And
Yeah,
now
I heard that was a play to slow them down. I didn't hear
and
that.
that's probably just make them go on their seats, making a lot of meetings, discussing, just wasting time while he's just advancing,
Right.
right?
And maybe that's why they're also getting rid of O3 and they're like, okay, let's revisit because it's getting hot in here
You
in the
don't know.
USA.
You don't
It's
know.
getting hot. Yeah, we
So
don't know.
Sam Altman
Um,
says, yes, we won't do that, but maybe we want to sell us now X for
so do
like
you think it's
9
a
billion.
strategic move from Elon, or do you think it's
Elon
a
Musk is
personal
always
grudge?
strategic. No, I think we have some rivalry here because Elon
Hmm.
Musk was part of OpenAI, and I think Elon Musk knows he must be in the AI game. He's an engineer, right? He's like combining engineer and tech, and engineering and tech right now meets very well at AI, and I think he wants to play in that playground. He wants to be a leader in that playground. So you
So
just focusing them.
so
You
next
can just pick on
question.
them.
Right, right. So next question. Do you think it would be good if he took over OpenAI, or do you think it would be better if he just creates his own platform from the ground up?
That's a good question. I want to see AI as open source as possible and
Mhm.
as pluralized as spread as possible, while we have some very decent, fair regulation happening. So preparing the rest of the people.
Right.
I don't want to see one person holding all of the cards. That will make no sense to me.
It will not make
So
any sense. Absolutely
I
not.
prefer it will be spread as much as possible. I think Elon Musk might have good intentions here because he was talking about getting it back to its
Open source. Yep.
open
Hmm.
source roots, but I don't know. Is
I think that maybe it would be best for him to start over personally and build it exactly the way he wants it to be built.
he already doing that.
Yeah,
He's building that already.
yeah, I think that that actually is probably the best thing, and let OpenAI do what they do. Either they're gonna, catch up, or they're gonna fall backwards. That's what competition's all about, right? So let's talk about YouTube. YouTube's AI is expanding. They have auto dubbing now and age identification tech. So that's to try to help prevent things that minors should not be being seen. YouTube has a long history of that. We won't talk about Fight Club. So what they're doing with a better age verification, also content moderation updates are coming as well. The auto dubbing could make multi-language content even easier, which I think would be really awesome for anyone that is
Right,
looking to
for
have
sure.
the multi-language content. That is beautiful. I love the age verification AI thing too, to help create a little bit more privacy for people that are worrying about YouTube collecting and analyzing data, all that different stuff like that. And then who benefits? Well, obviously it's a tool for content creators mostly, and it could also help with their own stuff that they're putting out with advertising and things like that too for YouTube. So
Right.
do you think AI driven content regulation is a step forward, or do you think it's a step backwards in regards to being a risk for censorship?
Right. So I think perfect question. So I think that's basically illustrate a lot of the double-edged dilemma
Mhm.
we have with AI, right? So
Right.
on the one hand, it can do so much for us, but on the other hand, it can use for like in this case, you use it to have better age identification. So you
Right.
basically lose somewhat of privacy because now they know better about you, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So they use that to get more information, but they give you something back. So it's like, am I willing to give up more to get more? So this is why
Right.
we need a
Right.
very,
Yeah.
very a reasonable, very, very fair that will intensifies development of AI, but also get the people ready for that change,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
happening. So
Yes, it's
get the
happening
people
one way or
ready,
another.
help them protect themselves, help them get the right training, help them be fluent in AI because we're gonna
Mhm.
speak AI. Everybody gonna speak AI. That's gonna be, it's already part of the conversation, right? 14 million ad. So
Right. Right. Absolutely. So this last piece of news, this one is a doozy. Okay. I'm not liking what I'm hearing from this one,
right,
but I am
right.
so not shocked. Okay. Google drops AI ethics pledge on weapons and surveillance. So
Google what?
Google has quietly removed its pledge to not use AI for military and surveillance.
Not so quiet now. Not so
Not so
quiet now.
quiet.
Not so
So,
quiet now.
why the reversal? Government contracts are worth billions, and Google wants in. Most likely, that's a big giant reason. They don't do anything unless there's some money involved. Okay, what are
Yeah,
some
they
of the
won't
risks?
remove it unless they have
Yeah,
something, some
yeah.
reason,
There's
right?
got to be some incentive for them, right? And as we know, Google likes the money. Okay, and they will stomp over anyone to
Their
get it.
business.
Let's be real.
Right.
So, what are the risks? Increased military AI applications, but also potential global instability. Will this damage the public trust? Well, Google already has damaged that quite a bit. Will it damage it further? Absolutely. I don't think anyone's going to be excited to hear this news. Hey, if someone's watching this and you're excited for this news, feel free to drop a comment wherever you're watching this. I'd
Well,
love to hear from you.
we
So,
could hear even more if we can see even more it can be even worse. Right now they're
yeah,
just opening it up, right? But we can hear about the news that they were weaponizing AI. And we will hear about that probably by the end of the year. We will get some news like that if they'll be
2025 is
public.
going to be very interesting, I think.
Oh
So it's
yes.
yeah. So yeah, of course it's going to. Apparently, there's already been backlash from their employees and activists. Totally not surprised. Audience, anyone watching this later, let me know. Should AI companies be allowed to work with the military? Why or why not? Let us know. If you're on LinkedIn, you're watching this on YouTube, wherever you're watching this, or you're on our blog post, comment. Let us know. Love to hear from you. All right,
Yeah,
let's
should profit ever eclipse ethical responsibility, right?
right.
Should we ever utilize AI to any of the companies for any of the reasons over our responsibility? Should we use AI to get information, to create fake news just for profit? Should we use
Yeah,
AI
not good.
to
Not good.
it's not just weaponize, it's like or also different like information that's a weapon as well. So information,
Absolutely. Yeah.
disinformation, that's a weapon, that's an ancient
Ooh,
weapon.
disinformation. Yes,
So
that
should a
yeah, you're right. A
profit,
very ancient one. Disinformation's been going on for a long time. I know a
right?
lot of y'all you think it just started
And
in
with AI it's so easy,
2016, but I promise you it's been going on for eons. So
right? So should ever like companies profit and should that be regulated, should be
yeah.
more important eclipse ethical responsibility? That's a big question.
We definitely need ethical responsibility. Absolutely. This stuff is not to be messed with. Some of the stuff that we're seeing AI do is like mind blowing. I just remember personally watching like things like the Terminator with my family growing up and other,
I
AI
know.
takeover related videos. I'm really praying I never see that before I go home to the good father above. But I sometimes wonder if I might not see some of that in this realm because there's already robot cops and all this weird stuff going on. It's wild out there. So I think we definitely have to hold these companies accountable. We, the people all around the world, need to make sure that we're holding these large companies responsible for doing responsible things with this technology. Absolutely. All right. Speaking of
Amen.
responsibility, yes, amen. AI competition arms race. Okay. Who's the
By the
global
way, that's
AI?
funny. We call it arms race, and we just
Yes,
talked about, well, we might weaponize in it. So
we might be in an arms race
it
with
is
the
an arms
AI.
race.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the global AI race, who's leading it? Right now, it does seem like China is on top. You know, we got DeepSeek, we got Quen, we got the OmniHuman. They're basically setting new standards for efficiency and all that good stuff. France, they got the Minstrel AI, which is making Europe a serious AI contender. And then obviously the USA still leading, but starting to fall behind in cost efficiency, which could definitely be
Right,
not
right,
good for them.
right.
So before we continue, would you like me to share a little clip on the OmniHuman that we found, or do you want to wait a little bit later for that?
You wanna share the demonstration of the Chinese
For
multimodal?
OmniHuman, yeah,
Yeah,
is that cool?
let's see what they got. Let's see what they got, and then
Okay.
discuss this.
All right,
All
let me
right.
go ahead and make this a bigger screen real quick in
I
theater
was impressed when
mode.
I saw some of their videos. That's really good. Really
So
good.
let me share this with y'all. Make sure the sound is on.
No worries, no
And
worries. That's
here we go.
exciting.
All right, let's watch this together. I'm gonna make this a full screen for
Yep,
us,
yep.
and let's take a listen.
China just dropped another AI bombshell. After DeepSeek, this might be the biggest game changer yet. OmniHuman 1. Built by ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, this AI can take a single photo and turn it into a full-body video, complete with natural movements, gestures, and even singing. It's
Look at that.
insanely realistic, pushing deepfake tech to a whole new level. And that comes
Look
with
at
some
that.
serious implications. All right, so OmniHuman is basically a new approach to AI-powered video generation that can create eerily lifelike footage of people from just a single photo. And I'm not talking about just a face replacement or a bit of lip syncing. No, we're talking full body animations, gestures, movements, even singing and playing instruments, all synced up with audio. And all of this from just one image. If you're thinking, wait, this has to be some kind of black magic level AI wizardry, you're not too far off. Previous deepfake apps and tools.
Hold on, take a look at
hold on.
this. Think you can tell what's real anymore?
Well,
All
it's
right.
an
Looking at
AI
right
related
now isn't a
commercial, so
traditional-
that's at least it's on
Tools
topic.
typically
Okay,
need a
there we
bunch
go.
of
Sorry
reference
about that.
images or video, or they just give you that weird, uncanny look that screams fake. OmniHuman, on the other hand, can apparently generate a really convincing deepfake using minimal input. And that, my friends, is a game changer. Now, depending on which write-up you
Scary.
read, ByteDance
Depending
says
on
they
how you
trained
look at it.
OmniHuman on a huge data set of somewhere between 18,700 and 19,000 hours of video. That's a ton of content. They're pretty hush-hush on the exact sources, but we can safely assume that with TikTok's massive content library, they aren't running short on examples of human movement or speech patterns. The paper on OmniHuman, posted to the OpenSX.arx.archive site, describes how the researchers used multiple conditioning signals, meaning text, audio, body poses, to teach the AI how humans move and talk. They call this approach omni-conditions, which basically allows them to feed the AI different inputs so it can produce videos for a wide variety of scenarios. Speaking, singing, gesturing, or even playing
Oh, that's
instruments.
great.
In some of the sample
That's
videos ByteDance released, you see a fictional Taylor Swift performance that looks unbelievably convincing, like you
That's
might
great.
do a double take to check if it's real. There's also a clip of Albert Einstein giving a lecture in crisp
Very good one.
black and white, looking as if it was shot with modern HD cameras.
Oh, wow.
At one point, Einstein
Very good.
says, "What would art be like without emotions? It would be empty," gesturing with his hands and everything. It's borderline spooky because it truly looks like the real Einstein is right there talking about art. Then there's a video that apparently shows a TED Talk that never took place. And in another
Wow.
demonstration, they show some random scenario where a person is holding a wine glass, but you can see some weird movements as
Yeah,
if the
so that
AI is
one-
having trouble
no,
with that particular
That's
pose.
AI for sure.
So it's not perfect, but the leaps it's making
Oh, it's
beyond
scary how good
older
it's getting.
deepfake methods are huge.
All right.
They also mentioned that you can tweak
So
the
we're gonna
aspect
stop this.
ratio.
I think we
the
saw
body-
Yeah,
enough.
yeah,
That's we
yeah.
can definitely talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me stop this
So-
here real quick. And
So actually,
yeah,
more than just
let's talk about
examples, you
that.
shared with us some of its the brain behind it. That's really cool. So it's
yes,
basically
yes.
like all the latest Chinese updates, they brought something new, more efficient, right? So if it was before, you needed many images to create an image of someone, and you needed few images to make the reference to get something happening, or you needed a lot of work for the lip syncing. Now you see like perfect. Again, it's examples. Maybe you'll need a lot of tries to do that. With all models right now, they're not perfect in every try, but those looks hyper realistic.
Yeah,
Like,
there
I've
was a
shown it-
good, there were some of them that were pretty freakishly realistic. Some of them are like, okay,
Right.
I can definitely tell this is AI or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're getting so much closer to you not being able to notice, that's for me, I don't like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, but in the worst case is it's just made with one image and one sound clip.
Yeah.
So the push the sound clip on the image, it's lip syncing it, it's moving it. Like, you understand, the brain behind it understand if it's either a speech or if it's a singing. So the movement and the emotion the presenter shows is different, depends on the sound. So that's really cool. That means you can actually it solves many things for you. You don't even need to prompt that too much, right? It's just
all right. So let's talk
scary.
about, do you have any ideas of how you could use this technology for good?
Yeah, for sure. It will save endless hours of human video creation. If you want to set training out there, if you want to create convey any good message, that's using for good. But in the same way, exactly, if you want to convey any bad message, any fake news,
right?
So
Yeah,
we have to be responsible with AI. We have to be responsible.
So we need some people that can really come up with some technology that helps people to be able to spot these newer technologies and their fakes a lot quicker. Because I know, sadly, I know people already who are getting fooled by some of these chatbots. They don't fool me. I know when I'm talking to a chatbot, but I know people in my personal life who really thought they were talking to a live agent. And then, you know, my best friend and business partner, Larry, he takes a look at it and he's like, bro, that's not a real agent. That's a chatbot you're talking to.
Right.
Like, but they have a photo and they have a name. And he's like, what does it mean? You know? So that goes back to like being responsible, right? As business owners, as content creators and all that stuff. We have to be responsible. If you're going to have a bot on your site, make sure that somewhere in its name it says it's a bot. Like, let them know they're speaking to a bot, because there are people that are getting fooled by that, and then they're getting frustrated. Why is this person not really addressing my question or really giving me the help that I need? So it can also backfire on so many ways if you're not being upfront and honest. I don't think there's any problem or anything wrong with using bots for part of your processes, especially like, you know,
it's a must.
Support.
It's important.
But be honest and upfront that it is a bot. You know, let's do that. And then same thing, you know, I've seen some really cool ways that people have used similar technologies to what we just seen, where they have taken like pictures from loved ones that have passed away and have created messages to their family based off stories they've told and things like that. And like you said, taking like a clip, if you have anything from their that they've ever spoke before, that would be using it for good, right? Like a great way to uplift your family that missed their loved one, different things like that. Love that. But then I've also seen the ugly side of some of these type of things where, you know, women specifically, and I'm sure this happens to men too. I never like to blanket a statement, but especially young girls and stuff in high school and stuff like that, where someone's taken a regular photo, like what you're talking about right now, and then makes it look like a girl is doing something pornographic and totally, you know, it's not her, and then spreading that all over social media. So there is bad stuff that is happening out there already with these tools. So it's definitely something that we as human beings need to be very aware of. We need to spread the positivity, the good use cases. And then, you know, we need to also, you know, if you're a parent out there, make sure that your child understands, you know, what these different technologies are capable of doing, and make sure that they are using these things responsible if they are as well. Because there's a lot of scary stuff out there already.
You have to equip yourself, you equip your loved ones, your elder ones, and your younger ones. Equip them with AI literacy. Tell them what it can do. Tell them what to look for when you look at something. to recognize if it's real or not. I get for that from elder friends. You know, I've got some clip this week from an AI specialist. He was so enthusiastic about it. He didn't notice it was AI made.
Oh,
He was thought
wow.
it was real, and he's AI practitioner,
Right.
right?
So even people that know AI can be fooled. So
It's
yeah,
really, really,
it's
yeah,
whew.
really. You have to have the literacy,
Yeah.
and we have to practice fact checking. We have to.
Fact checking is super, super
Yeah.
important. Absolutely. Test and prove all things and hold fast to that, which is good. All right. Love that. So let's talk about the arms race. We'll circle back to that. You know, the AI race isn't just about, you know, who builds the best models, but also who makes them more accessible, right? So that kind of goes back to what China and France's open source AI models, right? That's a huge challenge for the US right now. So I think that what Elon is doing, Elon Musk is doing right now is he's trying to obviously be smart and go back to that open source competitiveness. So it'll be interesting to see in the next 6 months, right? Like what happens with that, with what he's building, what maybe someone else is building as well. I definitely think that is a huge leg up that France and China have over the USA right now. Would you agree?
I think the French and the European Union, they have their numbers are way behind the USA. They're in the game, but they're not
Yeah.
as in the game. They're like
Oh no,
behind.
they really only have one thing right now, you know, going for them. But the fact that they're doing it open source is what I mean, is like that is why they're gonna have a leg
Yeah,
up
I
eventually.
think open source should be always again the roots of OpenAI, the leading right now.
Yeah.
They are open source, and I think, and you can see some of the tools I'm using, even Stable Diffusion.
Mhm.
If you just go to Hugging Face, you can see all of the project and open source out there, and some of the best outputs as a professional you would get from open source
Right.
versions. Why? Because the computing power is not limited for you.
Yeah.
You can adapt anything you want. The training of the models are not limited for you, because you can
Right.
take the model and add a LoRa to it. LoRa is basically just like fine-tuning the same model to
Mhm.
make it like you want it. So I can add you as a person inside the same model. So it's the same
Right.
model, but now when I say Jamie something, it recognizes it's you and it creates you in that model, right? The same you.
Right.
So, and I can teach it to do many things. The same for voice. I can teach a full voice model to sing exactly like somebody like Taylor Swift, right? So I can,
Mhm.
most of those won't be available, for good or bad. They won't be available in the closed versions of
Right.
big companies, because they try to be more responsible, but also their biases are in their tools. When they're being
Exactly.
responsible,
Yes. Yes.
they're still biased most of the time.
Yeah, we
So
talked about that before in one of our other episodes. We
right,
talked a lot about that. So I totally agree with you. Absolutely. So let's
I
talk
believe
a
in
little.
open source,
Yes,
and I
definitely.
think that's a
I'm
huge
all about
drive.
open source. That's why I run my website off of WordPress, right? Open source, baby, all the way. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, why AI competition is a good thing. Obviously, competition forces companies to develop better AI, right, and faster, because obviously, if they're taking, you know, forever to get to the finish line, other companies are going to just, you know, just run right past them, right? Lower prices for business and users, that's another plus, okay? And then innovate in ways that they wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And we're seeing that now, right? Like all these different things that are coming out of China, it's making people in the US go, we need to pivot, right? We need to find out how to get these things out
We need to
faster
make it
and be
efficient now,
more efficient, right? All these different
not just
things.
spending more
So
money.
right. So
Right.
competition is great because it does help, you know, lower prices. It helps create more innovation. It helps things get to the consumer faster as well. So I think that personally is awesome. You know, we talked about OpenAI, right? And Google now are trying to rethink their businesses, like their models in general, because of DeepSeek's efficient approach. So they came out shooting and firing, right? Ready to go, ready to rumble. And now, you know, the other companies got a couple, you know, scrapes and you know, bruises and stuff like that. You know, they got knocked down a little bit, but if they get back up, they're going to get back up stronger because of it. So it's all good.
Good. Right.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, government regulation. Does it help or hurt innovation? I've noticed a lot of times it hurts
Of course,
innovation more than it helps.
of
And
course.
I think it really depends on the government as well, too, like what their intentions are and things like that. We could talk a lot about that, but I think
I
we both agree it usually hurts more than it helps.
I'll
What do
tell
you
you
think?
something. So I think
Yeah.
it's just like AI itself. It's like two-edged
Good sword.
sword,
Yep.
right? So
Mhm.
on one hand, you wanna regulate with the stick the
Right. Some
anything
safety
that
nets.
is just making it wrongful or align or um, providing usage of AI and that's
Right.
gonna hurt the people, the country's people. On the other hand, you see the European Union raising 200 billion. You see France
Mhm.
raising 100
Yes.
billion
We have
investment to
100
AI.
million.
You
Yep.
see Trump's already securing so quickly, already securing 1 trillion investment into AI. So on the other
Which
hand, you
is
see
very
money's
smart
coming in.
for sure.
That's not hindering businesses. That's allowing businesses to grow. That's
Yeah.
a billion, a trillion, 1,000 billion, right? $1 trillion infrastructure investment to help all of those any of those needs of growth in the AI industry. So that's monstrous.
It's
So it's allowing.
it's because it's huge. AI is huge, right?
It's huge, right? But and on the other hand, while doing that, right, they need to make sure that anybody utilizing this huge treasure they put in,
Mhm.
right? They when they utilize it, they will make it fair and they will make it responsible
Yeah, yeah. So
and they
I
will
think
make it
I think you're right. We need some regulations, but we need ones that don't inhibit innovation and do
the
not
stick and the
hurt
carrot,
the people. Yeah, yeah.
the stick
I'm
and the
with
carrot.
you. So how can the
Um,
USA stay on top? Let's talk a little bit about that, right? Obviously, more efficient AI training is needed. DeepSeek trained GPT-4 level model with just $5 million, while OpenAI spends hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, that's a big difference, right? So
right.
that's not being very efficient. It's kind of like I hope I'm allowed to say this, Barack. I think you're okay if I say this, but it's kind of like what they're doing with the government in the USA. They're going through all the departments and seeing where have we wasted money. And let me tell you, the numbers are getting huge. Okay, like really
Right.
huge.
Yes, I heard about that.
It's. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm totally not shocked, but
Sure.
I'm glad that that's happening, right? Because that's also
Right.
going to create a level of accountability and innovation. Same here, right? If
Rebuilding
OpenAI
trust. Yes.
Right. If OpenAI is spending hundreds of millions of dollars, but this other company was able to do it for 5 million, that means there's something going on wrong. Maybe they need to do their own auditing in their company, right? And find out where the things are leaking out that don't make sense. So, because I
Right.
believe if one company can do it, someone else can figure out how to do it, if not better. So I think
Right.
this is a great way for them to go, how can we be more efficient? Let's fix ourselves. Just like what's going on in our government, how can we be more efficient? Let's course correct, guys, because we're about to jump
Right.
off the cliff. Let's not do that.
Good.
The
Good. They
USA
should hear
needs
you now.
right. The USA needs smarter training techniques, not just bigger budgets. You know, and again, that makes sense, right? If
It's not
you're
always just bigger, faster. It's sometimes just like
no,
better,
no. Yeah, better. How
more
can we be
efficient.
more efficient? How can we be
Right.
wiser with the money that we're
Right.
spending? You know,
We
if
don't need to push more money in. We just
I
make it
think if
work
I had
better.
hundreds of millions of dollars to do something and I did it, and then someone else comes in and does it for 5 million, I'm going to be questioning my whole existence. I'm going to be like, okay,
Yes,
I did something really
that's
wrong.
rough.
Yeah, I did
That's
something really
rough.
wrong. Let me revisit life. You know, why did it cost us this much money and
You're
it's
like,
only costing them this much money? That's a big
can you
difference. Yeah.
imagine? Can you imagine? Yeah, I've read
Yeah.
that. I've read that Meta actually created different
Mm.
engineers, AI engineers war rooms, just getting all the DeepSeek releases because they could
Yeah.
actually release that as open source. That's what's amazing about
Yes.
it. That's why you make
Yeah.
so much waves, right? So they'll give, hey, this is what we did, and now everybody can do it,
Now
right?
everyone
And
can have
so
it.
they just created war rooms to study this and to digest this and to see. So, like you said, they were like this, and then acted. Let's break this into pieces. Let's put millions on that 5 million investment, and let's make that 5 million investment worth 100 million now that we can digest in it for so many.
Now the question is, were they only able to spend 5 million because of what we talked about the previous week, which is that it looks like they might have stolen some stuff from the other company, so they got a head start.
They utilized it. They utilized it.
They utilized
no,
it.
No. They do have in their papers they do have an efficient structure.
Yeah.
It works better.
No, but what I'm saying is it because they cheated off the other students'
no.
paperwork?
No, it helps. It helps, but it's
it.
No. That's
China don't come for us. We still care about
I'll tell you what,
you.
I wanna challenge that, because you said what USA needs to do to stay on the top, and you kind of ruin my competition of who's on the top for quarter of the health quarter of 2025. So what I want to do is I'm gonna go over just like my 3 competitors.
Yes,
right?
Go for it. Yep.
I'm gonna go over like what's the new, just bring the news, like what's gonna put them in the competition, and then you'll tell me if USA is still in the top. I'll let you choose this time.
All right. Let's go.
So I'm not gonna go everything. I'm just gonna go some like highlights. So
perfect.
Let's leave USA for last. So and let's start especially with France. So France and European Union. So France and European Union. First, you mentioned Mistral. Mistral is great because it's open source. But what's really interesting behind what's going on in France and European Union, that is Prime Minister, I think it's called in France Prime Minister, right? Macron. What he did, he secured 110 billion funding for AI investment and infrastructure, which Mr. gonna enjoy probably greatly from, and that's huge. That's a big number for a quite competitive product already. That's a huge number for quite a competitive product already. Yeah, huge. And imagine that's not going to be probably split into so many projects. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm sure they have a great infrastructure.
It looked like it's getting split up between multiple projects. Yeah.
And if you add to that the France, that's something they're proud of. They're creating right now more energy than they need, like electricity wise, and because they are nuclear power sourced. They have nuclear power source for energy. So basically, AI is very energy hungry, right?
Right.
So they say, we have that budget, but because we also have a lot of energy, that's like doubling or adding to that budget, and we can facilitate. We don't need to build something new now. We have more power than we need. We're gonna use that. We're gonna push some into AI. So that's interesting. And then apart from that, the UA investment in total was reaching 200 billion. So we have like at least 100 more billion in the EU. It's called the Invest AI. So that's quite obvious what it means, right? They put 200 billion in Invest AI. So that's a lot of 200 billion. That's a lot to invest and put the EU and maybe with France in the middle, and not just France. I know UK, they have some things going on, but I think France is really interesting, and EU. So one is Europe Union and France. The other one is, let's keep USA to the last, China. Okay, so first we brought DeepSeek R1, which broke how people approach to AI training. They made it more efficient, cheaper, to the same results. They actually made, for the first time in a long time, NVIDIA and the stock market to drop in millions, way more than the 5 billion. That was huge. And just 2 weeks after that, we can keep going on DeepSeek, right? It's huge impact. But just couple of weeks after that, I think Qwen 2.5 was out, and their launch, it's I think was it 50 cent? 50 what? No, what's the name of the company behind it?
What was the company they were?
10 cent.
What are you referring to?
The Qwen.
I'm not sure. Good question. All right. Well, he's looking that up. I want to just invite you guys to make sure that if you haven't already, wherever you're watching this, make sure you stay connected. Make sure you subscribe. We'd love to hear what you guys were thinking about all the different content
Should I
that
do
we
this?
shared. And make sure you like and share the
Subscribe.
content wherever you find. Okay. All right. Did you find what you're looking for?
Yes,
MVP
it's
Rock. All
Alibaba.
right.
So Alibaba is
Yes. Okay.
it's a monster company. It's huge. I think it's backed by the government as well as part of it. So and that model is super strong. Again, more efficient than the American models and super strong as a competitor. So very interesting. And then just not much after it, we got some kind of multimodal OmniHuman platform. It's not a platform. It's I think it's basically what's so far is just the research, because I don't think you can actually use it. I tried and I haven't got any access to it. But we've shown the examples of what it can do. It's quite amazing. It's a bit of a different approach. So it's innovative. DeepSeek was innovative. Qwen was innovative. OmniHuman is innovative and creating very competitive results, even not competitive, leading results. And OmniHuman is going to be so approachable, because if they release it, if they allow it, just one image and one soundtrack, and you got a deep fake. Can you imagine how that's too much power for
It's a
the
lot of power.
unregulated
Lots of
audience.
power.
And now let's go to USA. So USA, I think we got all the updates we talked about with OpenAI before. I think something I really enjoyed to see is also that Google is really still in the game. Gemini 2.0, and I really like the Veo video model, which from tests comparisons we've seen, it looks like it's leading the video quality playground right now, which is amazing because it's really competitive. It's really interesting. After Sora was already open to everybody, and we got the Chinese Kling, and we got everything going on. It's the visual platform, so everybody getting their attention. So USA got the OpenAI, got the Google new model, but the biggest news probably must be they're pouring money in. They're still pouring money in.
Right.
Trump secured $1 trillion, a
$1 trillion.
the hugest investment in going on right now anywhere in the world. I think we don't know what's going on in China, but and their money might be different because it's like they have a different government structure. But it's huge. That means USA is here to play. They're not just observers, and they're not just gonna let the industry lead it. They're gonna take that in 2 hands or thousands hands, millions hands, and put some money in and be serious about it. So now that you got basically a recap of the great events for the health first quarter.
Okay,
so we
first quarter,
exactly
yes, the
like
first
we are
quarter.
the half of the first quarter. So we
Yeah,
are
we're almost for the full quarter, yes. So for the
no, we
first
need
quarter.
one month more. We're
Yeah,
in
I
the
know.
middle of
As
February,
I
right?
said, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
mhm,
yeah. So we're just beginning, and we have
right,
all this news.
all
Who's
the
leading?
news.
Who's leading right now?
So I think right now China is leading because of the fact that they have more of the OpenAI models. They have more, efficiency going on right now. I
Oh,
think France, I'm going to say right now, I wouldn't put them second because they don't have a whole lot going on. I would say USA is second just because we have a whole lot more models and things like that. But I really feel that it's going to probably flip. I think that Trump is not playing around. The man doesn't play
no,
around. Let's be real.
no.
I think $1 trillion put
And it
in
doesn't
the
sleep, I
right
think,
hands can go really far.
for sure.
Obviously, it's not going to be going to, those government agencies we were talking about earlier that have been spending like it's water. I don't even know, but
No,
I don't believe that's going to happen. I think it's going to be used very efficiently and effectively. I
in a
think
very
that
great
money is going to
capitalistic
go very far.
right.
And I think that especially, I'm not sure where that money's all going to, but I think if a portion is going to help with Elon Musk and what he's doing, love him or hate him, he is a brilliant mind. I have one eye on him. You know, I don't fully trust the
Right.
man. He's talked about
Right.
having chips in
You
our
have to.
head and weird stuff like
You
that.
have to.
You know, so I don't fully like. I'm not giving him the keys to the kingdom personally or anything like that.
Right.
I got one eye on that man at all times. But
But
I
he's a
do
doer.
say that he eventually, you know, comes to the good side 110% and uses his knowledge and his wisdom for good. But I think in this space that he's able to do that. And I think that second quarter is going to get very, very interesting. So I'm going to say
Oh.
right now, number one is China, because again, they
Oh,
have
wow.
multiple good models out there. They're staying
Sorry
open
about that.
source. France would have been number two if they had more than just the one, really, but they really only have one shining star right now, the Mistral, which is, again, love that it's open source. But I still think they're a contender. You know, they've got money pouring in as well. So still keep an eye on what they're doing over there in France. But I do think that as of right now, the USA does have more models and more things out there that are good. You know, we have Anthropic, we have OpenAI, we have, you know, Google LM, which may or may not be a good thing after some of the news we shared earlier. You know, we'll leave that for you guys and gals to
We'll
decide
see.
in
We'll
the
see.
comments.
Sorry about that.
We'll have to keep an eye on them for sure. And we have a bunch of other tools and things like that coming out of the USA that are really amazing as well. And with the backing of $1 trillion, Elon Musk now on the task of trying to beat the arms race of the AI with China, it could get very interesting. So that is my personal numbers. What about you, Barack? How would you number them?
Well, I think my dog wanna join the conversation.
Feel
Come
free
here.
to bring Nacho in. He's cute. Be prepared for MVP Nacho. MVP Nacho, he's so cute. All right, what do you think, Nacho?
He's
Who's
an
winning?
otter. Look at you like this. All right. Okay. Are you done? Are you done? No, he's not done. Okay, I'm just gonna hold him here while we do
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. Absolutely. Multitask.
So I think I never want to say it, but right now, I think you're right. I don't want to say it because
I'm with you. I didn't want to say it either, but I have to give credit where credit's due.
Because you know when you started, you said like, so what does USA have to do to stay on top, right? And then when I read for you some of the happening, you said, I think China is on top right now. So I think 1 trillion investment is will take us far, but we still need to see those invested and bloom into an advantage. And we still need to see the adoption of the efficient models, the open source models. We need to see adoption of efficient models in USA, and we need to see you want to go down, and we need to see adoptions of open source models. We need that back, because that's drive innovation, that's drive creativity, that drives you have room for biases like this, but you have room to clean from forced biases as well. So you get more power this way, I think. Let me get it out. We have a song for Nacho, by the way.
It's very catchy too.
We put it somewhere. Come on. So I think you got this right. And
we'll see what happens in this next quarter. I mean, we still have half of this quarter, so things could flip. You know, we might have to revisit this conversation in the next month and a half, and our predictions might have changed. We'll see. Things are moving super fast in this beautiful AI world. So again, fam, if you love learning about AI, what's happening, what's new, how can I incorporate it in my business to be more efficient and effective and use it for good, not bad, make sure that you stay connected with us at the MVP Alliance. Next week, we'll be sharing some good news with you about the website and the virtual community. I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys and gals. And we'll also have a way for you to subscribe to our AI No Fluff newsletter, so you can stay abreast even in between these sessions of what's going on in the AI world and how it will impact your business and how you can use it for good so you can reach your clients, your customers, your team, your members in a more efficient and effective manner. I am MVP Jamie Ann, and this is MVP Barack, and we're signing out. Bye, fam. See you next time.
Bye-bye.